Let me take you back to the summer when everything changed. When I was 14, I accidentally summoned something evil. I know the title sounds dramatic. The time I summoned a demonic nun. But trust me, this is one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. And if you're brave enough, I'll tell you the whole story. Growing up in Montana, summers were golden. My sister and I spent our childhood playing by the river with the twins, J and B. Their grandparents' house stood just across the field from my grandma's place. We were practically inseparable, running through tall grass, daring each other to jump into the cold water barefoot on dirt roads. But that summer, I brought something else into the picture: curiosity. You see, I've always had this spooky streak, so when I spotted a Ouija board at a local oddities shop, I had to try it. But being broke teenagers, we got creative. DIY style. Cardstock, Sharpies, a makeshift planchette from Scotch tape. We thought we were clever, like, it's not our house, so nothing can happen, right? God, we were so stupid. We set up everything. Salt ring, towel on the floor, Googled a protection prayer. Jay read it out loud like we were invoking ancient powers, and then we placed our fingers on the planchette. Cold plastic pressing into my fingertips. It moved. At first, the spirits were harmless. Two gave initials. One woman, I can't remember her name, was kind, but all of them warned us. Something else was here. Something dark. The way they described it, like they were trapped, controlled by something bigger. Something waiting. We were spooked. Stupid, but spooked. So we packed up, took the board outside into the backyard. It was a perfect Montana summer day, but somehow we were cold. That shadow of the house stretched like it knew something we didn't. Against my sister's better judgment, we started again. That's when we met her, Susan. At first we thought she was just another random spirit. She told us she was a nun from Sydney. Jay joked, "You mean Sydney, Australia?" But then, B said, "Wait, there's a town here in Montana called Sydney." We asked her if she was the dark spirit the others warned about. She said yes. We pushed too far. We were idiots. We asked about her life, her death, what we should never have done. We asked where she worked. The board spelled out nonsense like gibberish. Again and again, the same strange letters. But those letters looked like a word, not random, real. I grabbed my phone, typed in the letters. I'll never forget how my stomach dropped. It was the name of a church, a real church, in Norway. How would four dumb American kids know the name of a church in freaking Norway? And she said she was a nun. My friends were pale, no jokes, no laughter, just fear. We said goodbye, screamed it actually, flipped the board over, ran to the fire pit and burned the whole damn thing. Flames curling up like the thing was alive. Turns out, you're not supposed to burn Ouija boards. Didn't know that until after. 5 years later, I thought it was all over. Life went on, college, work, all that, but then I got a call, unknown number, from Sydney, Montana. Normally I don't answer spam calls unless I'm bored and want to mess with them, but this time, I answered. There was nothing, no voice, just silence. Listening. The veil between worlds? It's thinner than you think. And next time, it might not be just silence on the other side. Be careful what you summon. Fair warning, this is going to be long, and by the end of it, you might start glancing over your shoulder too. I'm not saying you'll see her, but you might. My family has been haunted by the same ghost for generations. And it's not just any ghost. It's a little girl. She doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. She just watches. It all started with my grandparents before I was even born. They were visiting family in London, staying at this old bed and breakfast. The kind of place where the wallpaper's peeling and the floors creak, but it's quaint, you know? One night my granny woke up in the pitch black smelling something weird. It was soap. Old-fashioned, sharp, perfumey soap. Like stepping into your great-grandmother's bathroom. She sat up, confused, until she saw her. A woman in clothes from the 1800s just standing there, pale, watching, silent. And then she walked away, and then the sink turned itself on. They didn't scream. They didn't run. They just turned on every single light in the room and waited for the sun. Next morning, the front desk lady just nodded. Yeah, people see her here. Casual, like they were talking about bad plumbing. But that wasn't the scariest part. Years later, they started seeing something else. Back home. A little girl. She'd just linger. Watching from doorways. Standing in hallways. Doing absolutely nothing. And somehow that's worse. Fast forward to my dad's 20s. He's living with his best friend in this creaky old apartment, thinking life's normal. Until his best friend starts complaining about weird footsteps, whispering, doors closing. And then one day, in the middle of the day, full sunlight, my dad's cleaning his room when he sees her, a little girl. Just standing at the edge of his doorway, peeking around the corner. No blood, no gore. Just watching. Like she's waiting for him to do something. He froze. Just closed his eyes, turned around, tried to pretend she wasn't there. When he looked back, she was gone. But the feeling didn't leave. Here's the thing that really gets to me though. My grandparents don't even believe in ghosts. They're old school Christians, believe that people can't come back after death. So you know what they said? Demons, trying to trick us. It's one thing to see a ghost, but to hear your own family say that wasn't a person, that was something worse, it sticks with you. And you want to know the worst part? There's one story my dad refuses to tell me, just says no, that one stays with me. If the story he did tell me is bad, what the hell was that one? I'm 17 now, and sometimes I get that feeling. You know it. That prickling on the back of your neck, the gut feeling that someone's standing behind you, and every time, I'm terrified that if I turn around I'll see her, the same little girl, generations of watching us, waiting, and I don't even know why. So yeah, that's my family's story. Generations of glances, feelings, and shadows. And honestly, if I ever see her myself, I don't know what I'll do. But hey, if I do, you'll be the first to know. Stay safe out there. And maybe don't ignore that feeling next time you're alone in your room. Because someone might be watching you too. You know, I never used to believe in ghosts, spirits, demons, the paranormal, all of it. Just spooky stories for bored people, right? That's what I thought. Until I moved into that apartment in Rotterdam. It was 2010. My girlfriend and I had just moved in. Nice enough place, decent rent, but the attic, yeah, that attic gave off a different kind of vibe. We stored our washing machine up there. There were old belongings shoved into the corners. Forgotten stuff from tenants long gone. And that's when it started. My girlfriend would wake up in the middle of the night, terrified, saying she saw a shadowy man standing at the foot of our bed. Me? I laughed it off. Dreams, right? Stress, maybe. Nothing to worry about. But that was just the start. One afternoon, a friend of hers came by. Hadn't heard anything about what was going on, but as soon as she stepped inside, she went dead quiet, and then whispered, "There's a man in this house. Something dark." That's when the skepticism started to crack. Then came the dream. My girlfriend told me about it, how she was suddenly dreaming of our apartment, but decades ago. 1960s, maybe 70s. Wine glasses shattered across the floor, angry voices, violence. She was about to go upstairs to see what was happening, but I woke her before she could. That dream felt like a memory. And then, it came for me. I was lying in bed one night, heard someone walking up the stairs. The light in the hallway clicked on, footsteps, coming closer. I thought it was my girlfriend, but she never showed up. I opened the door, empty. I went downstairs and asked her, "Why didn't you come up?" She just stared at me. "What are you talking about? I never went upstairs. I thought you did." And right there, in that moment, I felt it. That ice-cold feeling, like death itself just brushed past you. That night, around 1 a.m., I woke up to knocking. 3 loud knocks. Not from the door, not from outside. Inside the wall, right next to my head. I lay there frozen, couldn't move, couldn't breathe right. Just hid under the blanket like a terrified little kid. And that's when I realized, I don't think this thing cares if I believe in it or not. After that, things got worse. Our stuff would vanish. Keys, wallets, small things gone for days. And then we'd find them, right in front of us, like it was playing with us. Whatever it was intelligent. Desperate, we finally contacted a psychic. She told us, "Go back, sit calmly in that attic, and gently tell the spirit to move on. No fear, no anger, just kindness." And that's exactly what we tried to do. What did we get? 3 thunderous bangs. Not knocks, slams. As if someone was trying to break through that attic door. We didn't just leave the house that night. We ran, and I swear, something followed us. Even in the car, driving away from that place, I could feel it, hovering, watching. The psychic just said, "Don't go back at night." And we didn't. I moved in a skeptic, but I left knowing. There are things out there, old, powerful, dangerous, and whether you believe in them or not, they don't care. It was fall 2022. I was on a routine work trip headed toward Charleston, South Carolina, a city with history so thick it clings to the cobblestones and whispers from Spanish moss. My company booked me into an old colonial-style hotel on the outskirts of town. It had charm and age, creaky wooden floors, antique furniture, and that musty smell old buildings always have. Quaint but unsettling. When the clerk handed me the key and said room 3113, I made a joke about unlucky numbers. She didn't laugh, just stared at me, then turned away quickly. Should have been my first clue. That night, brushing my teeth in the dim bathroom light, I noticed something off. My reflection in the mirror, it didn't move in sync with me. I waved. It hesitated, like it had to catch up. I woke up at 2:39 a.m., shivering. The room was ice cold. The heater, silent. The air, still. Then I heard it, tap, 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 coming from the bathroom mirror. The tapping stopped, and the faucet turned on. Just cold water rushing into the silence. I stepped into the bathroom. The mirror was fogged, though there was no hot water running. Then I saw it, smudged into the condensation. A handprint, small, like a child's. But I was alone. The light flickered and the air changed. It felt heavy, like the atmosphere itself was pressing down on me. I couldn't breathe right. I backed out slowly. Whatever was in there and didn't want me there. I didn't sleep. I sat in the armchair with the main room light on, all night, watching that bathroom door, waiting, dreading. As soon as daylight touched the curtains, I was gone. Didn't say a word. Didn't need to. The desk clerk didn't ask me anything, just nodded, like she already knew. Later that week I found a review. Just one sentence. Don't stay in room 313, the mirror isn't a mirror. I still don't know what I saw, but I believe now some places remember, and some reflections aren't yours. Would you dare stay in room 313? Let me know in the comments if you'd make it through the night. And if you've ever had a brush with the unexplainable, share your story. I'm listening. When I moved into this rental, it was a cloudy, wet autumn day. The kind where the air clings to your skin and the light never quite touches the ground. The house looked off. It wasn't just old, it had a scowl. Almost as if it knew I was coming, and it wasn't happy. I stepped inside and walked from room to room, trying to refamiliarize myself with the layout. And then I saw something. A figure, just beyond the doorframe. Someone in the room I had just walked past. My heart stopped. I spun around, but there was no one. That night, after dinner and too much wine, I drifted off. But at 3 a.m., I woke up not to a sound, but to a presence. I swear someone was standing beside my bed, staring. I looked toward the wall across from me. A shadow moved, or maybe it didn't. I was too afraid to find out. Weeks passed. Autumn surrendered to winter. Outside, the trees looked like skeletons. Their limbs scraped against the glass as if trying to get inside. But the horror, it wasn't outside. One evening while cooking, I reached into the drawer for a spoon, and one was missing. Strange, I thought. But then I noticed a bowl was gone too. Not broken. Missing. My stomach turned. Someone was here. Again, at 3 a.m., I woke to sounds, muffled, rustling in the kitchen. I crept out of bed, moved down the hallway. Light, flickering. And then I saw him, hooded, dirty, rummaging through my fridge like he lived here. He didn't see me, but I saw him. And somehow, he looked familiar, like someone I used to know. Or maybe someone I used to be. He came back, again and again, watching me from the vents, climbing down at night to feed. Food vanished, so did my job. My mind unraveled. He was always there, waiting. Then, one day, my mother came. She walked right through the door and saw me, covered in crumbs, surrounded by filth, unwashed, unmoving. She looked at me, eyes filled with disappointment, and said, "You've relapsed into your eating disorder again, haven't you?" I wanted to scream, to tell her about him, but I couldn't speak, because he was standing right behind her. He's still here, feeding, watching, waiting for the night I finally disappear into him. You're watching Night Whispers. Subscribe and turn on the bell button if you're not afraid of what whispers back. If you also want me to read a spiritual incident that happened to you or someone you know, you can share it by email. the email. Link will be given in the description box. And be sure to share your feelings about hearing the incident in the comments.